All systems go, kid. Let's fly. These are galaxies, great cities of stars. This one is our galaxy. Now for 3 points, what is its name? Milky Way. A quick draw and right on the money. 3 points, kid. Here's the next question for 5 points. Where is the Earth located in the Milky Way? Near the center, on the edge, or in between? In between is right. Actually, Earth is about 2/3 of the way out from the center of the Milky Way. 5 more points, kid. Besides our own Milky Way, there are many other galaxies that make up the universe. For 8 points, about how many galaxies are there? Thousands, millions, or billions? Right, kid, billions. That's how many galaxies there are in the universe. Good work, and 8 points. That's 16 points today. Better check your fuel, kid. We're making a long flight today. Got enough fuel? Okay then, blast off. We're going to go off the beaten track today, kid, to the only planetary satellite in our solar system that has an atmosphere the same way Earth and some other planets do. We'll start the quiz off with a real easy question. The satellite we're after, the one with the atmosphere, goes around this planet right here. For 3 points, which planet is it? Saturn, of course. 3 points. But now things are going to get a heck of a lot harder. See this satellite here? This is the one we're after. Now, for 12 points, tell me the name of this satellite. Is it called Helios, Titan, or Dagobah? Here's a hint, kid. In English, it means something very big. Titan, that's the right answer. 12 points. 15 points for the day. Good for you. Okay, kid, take her home. Heads up, kid. It's cold, all right, because that's the way it would be in Alaska, which is where we'd get this view of the nighttime sky. Look up there. You can say that again, kid. Looks like someone turned on the lights, doesn't it? In fact, that's part of the name for this celestial sight. Down in Antarctica, they're called the Southern Lights. For 3 points, what are they called up here near the Arctic? Northern Lights, that's right, 3 points. Here's a much tougher question for 10 points. What is the scientific name for the Northern Lights? Stumped, huh? I'll tell you the answer. It's Aurora Borealis. That was tough. The Northern Lights are caused by particles from the sun becoming trapped by the Earth's magnetic field and dumping into the Earth's upper atmosphere. The solar particles are released during powerful explosions on the surface of the sun. For 10 points, what are these surges called? Solar flares, absolutely correct. 10 points, kid. 13 points today. That's a darn good score, kid. Set course for Comet Intercept, coordinate 77 Alpha. Let's watch a replay of Halley's Comet's last visit to Earth in 1986. There it is, and there's one of the spacecraft sent up from Earth to study it. Now for 6 points, kid, what was the name of the spacecraft? The one that flew closest to Halley's Comet?
Giotto, very sharp, kid. 6 points. Here's one I bet you'll never get for another 6 points. How close did Halley's Comet come to the Earth in 1986? 29 million miles, 39 million miles, or 49 million miles? 39 million miles. That's right, kid. 6 more points. Okay, kid. Now here's today's last question for 6 more points. Halley's Comet visits the Earth every 76 years. Since its last visit was in 1986, what year will it be when we see Halley's Comet again? 2062, correct. That gives you 6 more points. So what's your score for today? 18 points. Nice going, kid.
Ready, kid? Blast off! Different planets in our solar system are made up of different types of materials, kid. The one we're coming up on now is made up of the lightest material. In fact, if you had a bathtub big enough, you could put this planet in it and it would float. For 5 points, kid, what planet is made up of the lightest material? Right, Saturn. Now for another 10 points, how big are Saturn's rings? 50,000 miles across, 100,000 miles across, or over 170,000 miles across?
170.
Over 170,000 miles across. That's right. 10 points, kid. You're doing so well today, kid. We ought to try one more question. For 5 more points, how thick are Saturn's rings? 500 miles thick, 100 miles thick, or less than 1 mile thick? Less than a mile thick. Correct, kid. 5 more points, making your total score 20 points. All systems go, kid. Let's fly. Yep, kid, those stars sure are pretty, all right. Let's take a close look at a particular group of stars. I'm sure by now you recognize this group of stars called the Milky Way.
Yes.
You know, kid, besides our home galaxy, the Milky Way, there are other galaxies which together make up the universe. Now, here's the first question for 5 points. How many galaxies are there in the universe? Hundreds of galaxies, millions of galaxies, or billions of galaxies? That's right, kid. Billions. That's 5 points for you. Well, now that you know how vast the universe is, maybe you can answer this question for another 5 points. How many stars are there in the universe? 10 million, 10 billion stars, or thousands of billions of stars?
10 billion.
Oh, I'm sorry, kid. 10 billion is the wrong answer. The answer is at least thousands of billions of stars. No one actually knows the real number. So, today's total is 5 points. Not a bad score at all, kid. All systems go, kid. Let's fly. In 1977, 2 spacecraft were launched to study the outer planets. For 5 points, kid, what were they named?
Voyager.
Voyager. That's absolutely right for 5 points. Both of these probes were sent to study the 2 largest planets in our solar system. For 6 points, name these 2 planets.
Saturn. Jupiter.
Jupiter and Saturn. You got them both right, kid. 6 points. Now, in January 1986, Voyager 2 flew past the next planet. For 3 points, kid, what is its name?
Uranus.
Uranus, right. 3 more points. Okay, kid, last question for another 3 points. In 1989, Voyager 2 will fly past yet another planet, another gas giant beyond Uranus. What is its name?
Neptune.
Right again, kid, Neptune. And that's 17 points. Great score, kid. All strapped in, kid?
You bet.
Okay then, blast off. Today we're going to talk about a very special satellite in our solar system. This is a picture of that very special satellite. It's the only satellite in our solar system with an atmosphere. Here's the first question, kid, for 10 points. What is the name of this satellite? Now this is a hard question, kid, so I'm going to make it multiple choice.
Thanks, Bluegrass.
Is the name of this satellite Ganymede, the Moon, or is it called Titan?
Titan.
That's right, kid. Titan is the name of the only satellite in our solar system with an atmosphere. That's 10 points. Now here's a companion question for another 10 points. What planet does Titan orbit? Does it orbit around Mars? Does it orbit around Saturn? Or does Titan orbit the planet Jupiter?
Saturn.
Saturn, that's right, kid. Titan, the only satellite with an atmosphere, orbits around the planet Saturn. That's 20 points for the day, kid. Nice score. Hey, you're really getting to know your way around our solar system. Howdy, kid. Ready to go?
Ready.
Okay, blast off. Today, we're going to talk about satellites. You know, kid, people get real confused when they talk about satellites, and that's because the word satellite has many definitions. Let's take a look at a few objects here, and you tell me which ones are satellites, okay? What about this object, kid? Is this a satellite?
Yes.
That's right, kid. This is an Intelsat communication satellite. This is used to broadcast communication signals all over the Earth. And because it revolves around the Earth, it's a satellite. That's 5 points, kid. Now, how about these 2 tiny objects in orbit around the planet Mars? They aren't spacecraft. Are they satellites? That's right, kid. Another 5 points. Their names are Deimos and Phobos. They're the 2 natural satellites of Mars, and they're only about 5 and 10 miles across. Okay, kid, one more. How about this object? Is it also a satellite?
Yes.
Right again, kid. The moon is our planet's only natural satellite. That's a total of 15 points for the day.